wake up in the morning, write your dreams down.
Write your hopes and dreams down and know they're going to get crushed by the Pentagon, of all things. Was it the Pentagon that got hit in 9/11?
Yeah,
quote unquote hit. It was like one wall. It was like one side of the building that had all the files or some nonsense.
Yeah.
Like,
speaking of files, but yeah, that's whole
the New York thing.
Yeah,
let's talk about it because we got a lot to cover in this episode. We have a whole lot to cover. We're going to start this out by saying we're watching, I'll record this for you guys. Let's see. It says the Pentagon admits it can't account for $2 trillion. Again, this is in the politicalinsider.com. In typical Groundhog Day fashion, the Pentagon has failed yet another audit. Yet, for the most part, nobody seems to care in the media or the government. When you fail year after year, it becomes the rule versus the exception to fail basic standards. So apparently the Pentagon, which I was completely unaware of this.
Lost a bunch of money.
Yeah. Yeah. I was completely unaware of this, but apparently this isn't the first time that they've come short, right? So where's the IRS right now is the question that I want to ask. Where's the IRS? All their 85,000 new IRS agents with their guns.
Coming to get the $2 trillion from other people.
Yeah, where are those mofos at? Why are you not going to the Pentagon right now and getting your $2 trillion? You'll go and find somebody if they don't pay their taxes at the end of the year and they miss like by $800 or whatever. You'll make sure those people get prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But this is our mother money. The Pentagon admits it can't account for $2 trillion. Again.
We just lost it.
You know how much $2 trillion is?
We don't know where to go.
How much is a trillion? A trillion is 999
billion.
100,000 billion or some crap like
999 billion. It's one past. That's 1 trillion.
I can't even wrap my head around that number, okay?
The number is so large, yeah.
And you know what's hilarious? You know what? Not even hilarious. This is very serious, actually. Because we laugh about this, but this is $2 trillion. I don't think people understand. Google what $2 trillion looks like if you have the time. Just Google it. Because if I was to put $2 billion in front of you, $2 billion is such a monumental amount of money. People don't even understand what 2 billion is. 2 trillion is the most mind-blowing amount of money you could ever possibly imagine.
We'll just like write it off for the year.
And they can't account for it. It vanished. It's gone. And you know what? I had a buddy of mine. I'll tell a story. I had a buddy of mine he was in construction. And he got this government contract. Some tornado came through. It was like down one of the southern states. Some tornado had came through and just destroyed this military base, right? So he went and they got a contract to do the repairs on this military base. Part of them getting the contract was every single screw that they used had to be documented and accounted for, okay, on this military base. They had to account for and count when they came into the base with material, when they left. The deficit of that had to be accounted for to the exact screw. Like if you use 50 screws and you put 51 down, oh no, we need to know what the hell's going on. Where'd that one screw go, buddy? Like that was what my buddy found out by working on a military base. Now, mind you, this is working for the government essentially, okay? When you say I'm working on a military base, you're working for the government. So for the government to be that anal, right, about screws and nails and the tiniest minute details, he said he had to be in absolute control of the numbers that he was giving them and what we use today, and everything had to be accounted for. And you're going to tell me at the end of the year the Pentagon admits that it can't account for $2 trillion. You're going to tell me they can't account for $2 trillion? Oh, but you can account for nails and screws individually?
Unless it was like stolen, I guess, from like other countries.
No, skis. Stuff. No, skis.
Some of it's probably that.
Bro.
But they can't account. Are they just going to write it off for the year?
Where do you think the $2 trillion went to? Seriously. Let's be real.
Pockets of somebody.
Somebody got rich, right? Nancy Pelosi.
Not just one
Just throw
person.
names out there. I don't care. Throw names.
It was probably written off or whatever. Well, you also got to remember we're giving money to other countries and da-da-da-da-da.
Still, though, you don't think they account for that? I think, here's my theory. I think the United States government is so very good at keeping track of how much money they're spending so that they know, okay? They've obviously done this before. This isn't the first time that they've been off. Yeah, it says again. They're so very good at accounting for everything. They know we can get away with at least $2 trillion just being gone. Okay? They're making contractors come onto their military bases and account for every single screw that they use. Okay? So you're going to tell me you just $2 million just poof, disappeared? No. And if you've done this in the past, because this says the Pentagon has failed yet another, meaning they've already failed some other ones.
So they at least have $4 trillion.
Oh, yeah. So they know that, the public, the tax dollars that there's $2 trillion. That's not just money they printed. That's tax dollars. Okay? That's our mother effing money. Okay? That's our money. And stories like this just fly completely under the radar.
Oh, for sure.
Because we're too busy talking about what Kim Kardashian is doing with Balenciaga, which is a good story.
I watched a thing on this too. When White House actually holds meetings and stuff about this stuff, they make sure to do it near holidays or like on a Friday because a lot of people aren't paying attention at those times.
Yeah, man.
I've actually read a story about it one time.
They're sliding this stuff in at 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon when people are ready to get drunk and go party and nobody gives a damn. They'll literally pass bills like this at nighttime. Like, and you're going to, I don't know who I'm talking to, but you're going to tell me that the United States government is trustworthy and they have your best interest at heart. And when the tax man comes, you're going to say, oh, I'm just going to pay. You ask any multi-millionaire or multi-billionaire, hey, how do you feel about taxes? And they're going to tell you, well, I've got a great tax person. I've got someone who helps me get through all the loops. You know why? Because they know that there's bullcrap like this going on in the United States government where they'll account for screws throughout the whole year. They'll make you accountable for a screw. But my God, if you can be off by $2 trillion at the end of the year, $2 trillion, that number is so astronomically massive. I can't even wrap my head around $2 trillion. And it's gone. Disappeared. We don't know what happened to the $2 trillion.
What really bothers me about this is that now, too, I was reading a story. They're talking about another government shutdown, like soon, because they don't know how they're going to pay. Go find your $2 trillion to pay them, and there would be no government shutdown.
Are you kidding me?
No.
They don't know how they're going to pay them. Nancy's got plenty.
They have to sign a bill. If they don't sign a bill, government workers have to go to work, and they're not getting paid. It comes back once they figure something out. But like me being part of a family that's military and stuff, like and like people in my life still work for the government, they still have to go to work and they're not getting a paycheck because they have to figure that stuff out. But like those things can't shut down. Like your one is like transportation, right? Like airplanes and stuff like that. Yeah. It has to do with the government. So like the TSA and all that has to stay open while they're not getting paychecks.
God.
And you wonder why people go on strike and stuff. It's crazy.
This is so infuriating for me to hear. And the fact that this video is
wouldn't even happen if they had this $2 trillion. Why would there be a government shutdown?
Bro, you know how much money we've given to Ukraine? It's like $83 billion or some nonsense like that.
I'm sure it's past that.
And
I almost guarantee it.
I listened to an interview with a guy who works with an organization. They go over there and they volunteer. It's like United States service members who they've been going over to Ukraine consistently and volunteering off of normal human being, like normal citizens' donations. Like they're going over there on our donation money, not off of the government helping them. They're going off of our donation money. They're going over there and training Ukrainian soldiers on how to combat the Russian forces. And the guys that are going over there are coming back and telling us. You can watch the interview. It's one of the Sean Ryan show episodes. Go watch Sean Ryan show. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he goes over there. I'll put the episode up right here on the screen right now. You can go look at that video. But he says they're going over there. They're training Ukrainian troops. We've given Ukraine, I don't know how many billions of dollars already. And the Ukrainian
we're giving money and we're giving them military equipment.
Yeah. And
it also costs money.
And
unless that money's like making a circle. That's all I can think.
Dude, the money's disappearing somewhere.
Yeah.
Because the Ukrainian soldiers are coming up to the guys that are our guys that are going over there to train them on tactics and stuff like that, shooting. They're coming up to our guys and saying, hey, can you give us boots for the winter? We don't have boots. These are the Ukrainian soldiers. We gave you $80 billion, however many. I don't know if that number is correct.
Boots.
Yeah, but they're not buying their soldiers proper clothing. So it's like...
Here's my twist. Here's the conspiracy side of this. What if Ukraine's actually working with Russia?
Dude.
And just doing this? I thought about that. I could be wrong. Do whatever, say whatever you want. I don't know. But what if it's like a scheme just to break the US?
No, I don't think it's a scheme to break the US, but I think it might be a scheme to a very small extent on the Ukrainian government's part to acquire more money. Because what the guy is telling us, this guy that went and interviewed on the Sean Ryan show, he's been over to Ukraine like dozens of times, training troops. He's been over there with a bunch of different ex-military soldiers from our country over there helping them try to fight this war. And he's coming back and telling us, like, I don't know, like, the United States has spent $80 billion or however many billions of dollars. He said the Ukraine hasn't spent any money helping to support itself in this war. And they're not helping their soldiers, apparently. They're not giving them proper training, proper equipment. He's like, it's almost like they want this to just keep dragging on a little longer.
Because they keep getting more money.
They're getting everything. They're
making
making hella bank off of this war. I think Ukraine is making a lot of money on this war. And that's scary to think about because people are dying, you know, and you're just around with people's lives. I'll edit that out. You're just messing around with people's lives.
Stop it.
Civilians are dying because you want to make more money. And I'm not saying this is a 100% fact. It could be, they could be fighting as hard as they can and they're not winning or they're not successful. But when we see stories like this, for instance, the Pentagon admits that it can't account for $2 trillion. Like, if you know what $2 trillion is, that is not a number that you lose track of. It's not even remotely in the realm of possibility.
Should be way lower than what it is.
Yeah, if you said $2 million, I would say, okay, as the United States government, I get that. That makes sense.
With like how many laws and everything going. Like, I get it's still an astronomical number, but like with everything we do, it's a probable situation.
2 million is probable. But when you're telling me that we have contractors, civilian contractors going on government facilities, and they're telling you got to account for every single screw or you're not walking off this base at the end of the night. Like stuff like that. And you're going to tell me you can't account for $2 trillion at the end of the year and the IRS and the United States people, it's our money.
But you can't track the money.
It's taxpayers' dollars though. And we're just letting this slide.
They're doing the same thing like after, it's the same situation. I hate to say it, but like to me, they're doing the same stuff to other podcasts I've listened to, how they actually spend money. And like you like Andrew Tate, right? You know what Tristan Tate is?
Oh yeah, his brother.
And they legit say, I own nothing. Like when I travel on a plane, it's from like, it goes through this, and then I fly on this plane to go somewhere. I don't actually own anything.
What do you mean by that?
The money moves so much and goes to certain situations. he's like he said, I don't know how much money I even have, but I can just do things. Like if I want to go buy a car, even if I have like a 1% inkling that maybe I want the car, I go get it.
Yeah.
Because I technically never like actually own the stuff. There's what is the word I'm trying to think of? I can't say it right now, but he says like
subsidized,
kind of in that way. But like he says, like this company does this, this, and this for me to fly on the plane.
Right. It's
I
like a favor
plane, but I don't
system.
actually own the plane.
Yeah, it's like a favor system.
It's like I never actually own anything. Like I have all this stuff, but I own nothing. And that's probably what they're doing with this money. It moves so much, like you can't track it, right? Like there's no way to.
I'm sure, okay? I'm sure that the United States government, with everything that we do,
your stuff's tied up in so much they give you a number. Like, this is what we think this person is worth because they have all this stuff, but they don't.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sure there's ways for money to disappear.
Just got to figure that situation out.
Yeah. But
you got to know how it works.
Here's the thing. When you see how destructive and how wasteful our government is, and then you see a number like this, I don't give one single solitary flying.
$1 billion is spent on like haircuts.
Yeah, I don't care. Pentagon, right? I don't care where the money went. For you to not be accountable for $2 trillion at the end of the day, that is completely unacceptable.
We hold you accountable.
Somebody's got to hold you accountable for that. Okay, $2 trillion.
That could do a lot.
Is absolutely insane. And I'll give you another example before we close up here. I'll give you another example. I was watching another podcast, and the owner of Blackwater, the Blackwater Company, they were involved in this major government. There was this huge thing. A bunch of their soldiers went to prison. They were like this big security force, ex-soldiers and stuff. They were working for the government. They got into this shootout in this foreign country, and I don't know. You'd have to go and watch that story. Just look up Blackwater, the security company. But anyway, the guy said at one point in his career of owning Blackwater, he went and put a bid in for some job for our United States government. And he was going to do some kind of mission for them, right? And they told him, he put a bid in for this job for what his cost, what it was going to cost for him to do it, what he was going to charge them extra to pay, like he was going to like get a percentage of whatever. And you know what our United States government told him? They sent him back his bid price and said, listen, we can't do it for this because you're not charging enough. That's what they told him. And he had already built up his price to where he was going to make a profit. And the government sent him back this letter that says, we can't let you do this job because you are not charging enough. We need to spend this much money. Yeah, we need to spend more money than that on this project.
Some of that money's got to come back to them, right?
That pisses me off so much to hear. Right? It's like companies. Like companies do the same thing. Like with their budgets at every year. They're like, well, our main branch, like your company probably does it. Our main branch is going to give us this amount. They've been giving us this amount for so many years. We need to spend it. Yeah. So at the end of the year, I'm going to make sure I spend up that money.
Well, the reason they say that is because they want to make sure to keep getting that amount of money.
100%.
If you spend less, then they're going to give you less.
100%.
Yeah.
But now you put that into the lens of our United States government, and you say, listen, you guys are playing around with our tax dollars. You're raising taxes. Like, you're doing all this crap every single year. All of us are struggling to get by, and we're wondering, why the hell am I paying so much in taxes? Why am I getting screwed every single year in this and this? And you're telling me you're doing it because you don't want your budget to be reduced next year? You denied this company that had every resource in the world to do the job properly and do it correctly. Blackwater was an incredibly capable military company. They could have done anything. So if they'd have let them have that job for the price that they sent them, like they'd have gotten the job done and they'd have saved the government money. But the government's like, no, we want our budget next year. So you're screwing over all of us taxpayers because you want to make sure that you get your budget. And at the end of it, this is what happens. you end up not being able to account for $2 trillion. And none of us taxpayers are holding you accountable for this. This story, this video we're doing right now is probably going to go unnoticed.
Oh, for sure.
You know, no one's going to give a damn about this video.
But they should.
Right. But this is monumental. $2 trillion is something that we should all be so freaking pissed about. And we
all
should be
tax dollars you could have saved the American people by not
having
those $2 trillion gone.
And that example that I gave about Blackwater is just one example. They do that consistently, day after day, day after day. No, you need to charge more for this project. We need to spend this much. No, wow. Like, I mean, if ever there was something for the United States public to riot for, we're going to riot for George Floyd. We're going to riot for transgender rights. We're going to riot for this. We're going to riot for that. Nobody wants to riot for the $2 trillion that are missing. It just disappeared.
Remember when the American people burned ships for a 1% tax increase?
The Boston Tea Party, right?
Where are those people? Where are the American people in this situation?
Bro, we are focused on bull crap. Nobody's paying attention to this. $2 trillion got stole from you.
American people, it's time for you to give a...
You just got robbed. You just got robbed.
And you're just like, yeah, take it. You just took it in the...
You just bent over and got lubed up by the government for $2 trillion.
They didn't even use lube.
They didn't even use lube. No, that's right. They just bent you over, went in dry. $2 trillion worth of dryness. And you're just taking it.
They went in with their fists. They fist.
You're gonna
hold it out.
And you voted for Joe Biden. How does that make you feel? I hope it burns when you pee. Like, I hope this stings so bad.
They took it and they left a disease.
This is so effed. This is so effed.
Dude, you guys,
I legitimately don't think people understand how monumentally effed you just gotten. $2 trillion. Okay.
Guess what? When they say that happens, where are they going to come get it? From you.
Okay. Yeah. Try not to pay your taxes this year. Okay. When they're busy telling contractors, oh, we need to pay you more for this project that you already gave us a bid for a lower price. No, we can't pay you that. We need it to be bid higher. You come back to me with that when they're coming after you for $200 or $400 at the end of the year that you didn't pay in your taxes. All right. You think about this $2 trillion that they're blowing. You think about the however billions of dollars worth of equipment that they left in the desert.
Yeah. They're thinking, oh, what? We can't do this? Oh, well, we'll make the American people be accountable.
They're going to pay for it. Yeah. We'll hire some more IRS agents. And you know what's paying those IRS agents? That's right. You are. You're paying for that. Too. You're paying for them to come and steal from you.
Care.
I'm trying to help people out, man.
But they got to want the help. Take the help.
Before we close this video, I know you're about to close it down. Before we close it, I just want to say one more thing, okay? Something else that I learned about how we left all of that military equipment in the desert overseas, okay? Something that came out of that.
Part of that $2 trillion?
Who knows? Who knows? But here's the thing. Because we left all that military equipment over there, do you know what happens when all of our soldiers come back to the United States of America? Do you know that now someone needs to get a massive military contract to build us all more weaponry, more machines? It's just a money-making machine. Somebody just got a massive contract to build a bunch more equipment for us. And you know who's paying for it? You are. Again, part of this $2 trillion. Probably you're right. Yeah, you're paying for that. They left all that equipment over there. They brought it there. They could have brought it back. It wouldn't have costed $2 trillion.
You know what else they could have did? Even if you didn't bring it back, they could have took it and sold it to a country that could use it, that supported the U.S.
They could have sold
it. You could have made even more money off of it. It could have been sold twice.
No.
Correct?
No.
Correct. The military purchased it. The military purchased it from somebody with money.
Yeah.
And then the military could have resold it got their fucking money back.
You're right. But that's not in the budget, Errol. We need to spend more money than that. You don't get it. We need to spend more money than that or else we don't get our budget next year.
Where's my budget?
Your budget is $5 a month or whatever
I can't even buy McDonald's anymore.
You know what? You know how this should really sink in? You know how this should really sink into people? Those meager, measly, pathetic little checks you got during COVID, okay, from the government. Those checks you got to keep you alive while they were making you stay inside and not work.
That one-time grocery
right?
bill.
Yeah. Those checks, that should piss you off more than anything. Because those checks, $2 trillion, think about $2 trillion, okay? You can't wrap your head around it. And what were they giving us? What were they giving us for COVID? $800, $600? Like, it was
minute.
It was minute. And I'm guarantee you right now, you know why they hired those 80,000 new IRS employees? They're going to get that money back from you. Okay, those COVID checks they gave you, that caused inflation to go up. Okay, they were printing money for that, and they're gonna get that money back from you, one way or another. You think when we go back and look at history, we're gonna be able to see things more clearly because we're through it. You go back and look at history, you say, "Oh my God, look at what they did to us." Yeah, it's too late now because nobody's paying attention to stories like this. These $2 trillion stories, this video Errol and I are going to put out, nobody's paying attention to it.
But you should.
Okay, you're listening to Kim Kardashian. You're watching. You're catching up with the Jenners. You're not listening to this video.
Make sure to find out what's on TikTok. What's the new craze?
What's the new song that the kids are dancing to that we don't give a damn about? Right?
Somebody does. That's what they want to feel important about.
Forget your money.
Your 2 minutes of fame.
$2 trillion. Wrap your dick around that. Wrap your sweet walls around that. Okay? It's $2 trillion. You'll never see that amount of money in your entire life. And the government is throwing it away. They're burning it.
Again.
They're just lighting it on fire and burning it and saying,
it's not the first time.
Yeah. They're lighting your money on fire. And they're saying, listen, and we need this budget next year too. Okay?
Oh, here we go, right here. The recent failure marks the 5th year.
Oh!
So, okay, it's not twice, it's 5 times.
So, that's a good point.
Yeah.
This recent failure marks...
You're out. We just kept going with it. We're just going to keep rolling with it. Next year, let's make it $3 trillion.
This is the 5th year that they have come. They haven't met the audit requirements set by Congress. So Congress isn't even holding these people responsible.
Because Congress is the one taking the money. Oh, I said it. I don't know. I'm so mad. Cue the music.
Cue the music.
I can't sing this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another show with Btgsquad.
We're gonna go soak our sorrows away.
Don't forget about your money. We'll catch you in the next video.
Till next time, bitches.
Peace.
Where are the aliens? Maybe they're among us. I don't know.